So Simnet projects, I typically assign 2 per chapter. We have at the office level content in Simnet, we have 3 Simnet projects per chapter, 1 guided project, which are the more detailed instructions, and 2 independent projects, which are still give detailed instruction, but take away some of that instructional scaffolding. So it doesn't tell them, like the guided projects will tell them what to do and how to do it. Independent projects tell them what to do, but not specifically how to do it. So again, 1 step at a time, we're taking them along the way and trying to get them to be competent in the skills that they're applying and to be able to take those skills and transfer them to a different context. So students start in the projects here. Students have a start file. If they're using a Mac machine, it'll automatically detect that and switch to Mac instructions down here. So, and screenshots for Mac and all that. But I'm going to go ahead and download a start file here, and notice it's coded with the student's name at the beginning of it, just to help, students if they're sharing computers with somebody so they don't plagiarize basically and use somebody else's file. And it is, when it's downloaded, it is downloaded with a unique code. And you can, as an instructor, you can choose the setting on that. You can allow them to upload a plagiarized file if they upload somebody else's file. If I get Morana's file and I want to upload that, the instructor can choose to either block it or allow that upload. If they allow the upload, it shows up in your gradebook as a plagiarized file, and it tells it, where it came, who it came from, which college, which class, which semester, all detailed information about that. So anyway, so there is a code embedded in there that does detect for plagiarism. So when the student, after they download the file and start on it, then the instructions are down here, and it highlights the instructions because I know a lot of our students are splitting their screen or doing the instructions on their phone, and so it can make it hard to follow. So we have little check boxes and highlight, and they can go through and do all that again in the live application. I'm going to actually open up the file that. So here's the file. I'm in Office 365 and the file here, and I did some work on this previously. So I'm going to go ahead and after doing the instructions, and then I'm going to go ahead and upload the file. And close it here. Always a good practice to save and close before uploading. And then at this point, it's going to say, hey, are you ready to submit the file for grading or not? And if they're working on it, either on campus, on campus, and then they're going to go home and finish it, they can save it in the Simnet cloud and pull it down. They don't have to email it to themselves or on external storage device or even their cloud storage. They can save it on the Simnet cloud. I'm going to just say, go ahead and say, yes, submit the file. And what this is going to do is going to almost immediately give them feedback on it, which these are auto-graded projects in Simnet. So we call them the Simnet projects. And it gives them very detailed feedback on what they did correct and incorrect. So the screenshot or the solution file is over here. And this is the actual solution file, not the student's file, because sometimes it could be so messed up that it would be hard to display that. But it annotates everything of what's correct and what's not correct. And anything green is correct, anything red is incorrect, anything blue is partial. You can drill down over here. All the numbers and letters relate to the instructions and sub-instruction numbers there. So what I did, I intentionally did something incorrect on here to show that we've worked over the years on the Simnet grader with Triad to eliminate cascading errors. And so what I mean by that is if there's an error up in instruction 3 that affects the worksheet or the Word document or the Excel database or whatever, PowerPoint presentation, if there's an error that affects that, it doesn't cascade down through the entire thing and make everything else wrong. So if they miss something early on, it's not going to affect everything else. We really work on isolating each skill throughout throughout there. But it does give them really detailed feedback. I only did about half this project, so I scored pretty poorly on this, but it's great feedback. I tend to give on these projects, give my students 3 attempts on these so they can go back and redo, because I want them to master it. That's my goal. I'm not a punitive type instructor. I want them to really learn and take things with them, because especially like Excel is something they're going to use the rest of their life, no matter what business that they're in. So those are Simnet projects. The grader is super accurate. I tell my students, if you're marked wrong on it for something, you did something wrong. So very few times will it mark something wrong that's not incorrect. I mean, almost never. And we fix those almost immediately. We allow for different types of formulas even. So for example, back in the 2016 content in Simnet, and we were rolling into 365 also, we had if-else statements. So on some of the worksheets, they could do either a nested if statement or an if-else statement. Either would be acceptable. So we try to allow in the grader as many different iterations of answers, formulas, whatever as possible in there. So the grader is really accurate, surprisingly accurate. And with technology, every iteration just continues to get better and better.